Well, welcome everybody to today's PACE webinar on My Cost Model is Ready, What Now? I think this is such a relevant topic. We've all heard stories of how companies develop cost and profitability models and then don't get value out of them. So I'm excited to listen to this presentation today. And our presenter today is Andre Sanseverino. He's Vice President of Sales and Marketing for MyABCM. It's a company that specializes in software solutions for strategic cost, profitability, and performance management. He's been involved since 1993 in the technical implementation of numerous projects at companies such as Coca-Cola, Philips, Cadbury Schweppes, Motorola, and Mobil Oil. So has great experience. He's delivered courses and lectures around Latin America, the US, Europe, and the Middle East. He taught postgraduate courses at the universities, and so he has this tremendous background to speak to this topic today. So I think it's going to be a great webinar. For those of you who aren't familiar with PACE, we're the Profitability Analytics Center of Excellence. We're a group of volunteer professionals dedicated to helping organizations make more, better, informed decisions by employing causal modeling and data analytics centered around our profitability analytics framework. If you want to become a member, I encourage you to do so. It's free. You'll get access to our webinars and so many other resources. So please go to profitability-analytics.org and join up.
Thank you very much, Rafe, and thank you very much for you, for Toby, for such nice other volunteers that help to make these projects, this wonderful and beautiful PACE project possible. Thank you very much for you that is joining. That is coming still coming to the presentation. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Topic today is my cost model is ready. What now? So spend a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of money creating this model, building this model. What now? What are the critical, in our opinion, analysis that every model should deliver to the managers, to the organization? Before we start, let me present the objectives of this presentation. First one is highlight the key strategic analysis that a cost model must deliver. Second, basically, is demonstrate how to apply tools like P&L 2.0, KPIs, benchmarks, and what-if simulations, what-if analysis, planning. Equip executives and finance leaders with a framework that to extract real value from cost modeling. We will also see here some our future view of cost management, especially linked to artificial intelligence. Well, before we actually dive into today's topic, just a quick word on who we are. MyABCM has been dedicated exclusively to strategic cost and profitability management for the past 30 years, 31 years actually, last month. We have worked with more than 1,000 clients across 54 countries. This experience has given us a unique perspective on what works and what doesn't work when it comes to turning cost models into true decision-making tools. I have clients from every single industry, from a lot of places we can connect. MyABCM for sure is a software tool. We can connect with any corporate systems. But particularly with SAP, we have a global partnership with SAP. Actually, the clients that runs SAP, they can hire MyABCM directly from SAP store. We have a connector with SAP HANA, for example. Well, let me start this presentation with this iceberg metaphor. What most organizations see, the visible tip above the water, are basic metrics like gross margin, revenue by customer, revenue by channel, revenue by client, revenue by region, whatever, operating costs, cost centers, cost accounts, actual and budget variation, all the raw materials. Basically, this is most models only reveal the tip of the iceberg. Below the surface line, the true you can below this the water line, you can find the true power of cost models. Here you can find net margin, benchmarks, P&L 2.0, identifying value-added, non-value-added cost, value-added, non-value-added activities, process analysis, KPIs, benchmarks, profitability by customer, planning, and also what-if simulations and what-if analysis that basically test the impact of changes before it happens. Without this hidden part of the iceberg, executives make decisions with partial visibility, and that's very much risky. The real shift is moving from just the tip to the full picture. Well, talking about shifting thinking from cost reporting to critical decision analysis, the goal here is basically moving from the shift to from the static reporting to critical decisions. So moving from these factors like revenue, gross margin, aggregating operating costs, averages, budget and actual variation, and direct expenses, direct costs to a true multidimensional P&L profitability analysis. The problem when cost models become static repositories is basically that they are built with effort and used only for reporting purposes. They rarely connect to decision making and incite potential waste. So this happens everywhere. You can find that these that normally organizations dedicate a lot of effort building, creating, maintaining the model, and then at the end, that ends up used only for accounting or reporting, not for managing the business. So, talking about the three common pitfalls, in other words, why cost models fail to deliver. Basically, they only track direct costs. They are built for one project, then basically they are forgotten and not connected to strategy. Does this sound familiar? So, let's talk now about the that this is basically a how cost data transforms into a management tools, not just a report. So I want to show you some interesting analysis to try to change this scenario. The very first one is basically the ability to use benchmark and KPIs, so power of benchmarks. So basically, we're here talking about compare across business units, compare your performance, compare your processes, compare your activities, compare against industry standards. So look at outside the organization and see how we compare with the outside world. Identify outliers and opportunities, and also conduct make or buy studies and basically study potential outsourcing opportunities. So it's very important. So first idea here is to have and use extensively in the organizations the power of the benchmarks. Okay, let's open the very first question, the CPE credit NASDAQ question number one. Why are benchmarks important in cost and profitability analysis? So they replace the need for internal reporting. They allow hidden hidden inefficiencies from external audits. They eliminate the need for planning and forecasting, or they help compare performance against industry standards and internal business units. Okay, couple of seconds more.
Yep. And just a reminder, everyone who's interested in getting CPE credit needs to respond to the polls.
Yeah, 3 questions. This is the very first one.
Okay, we're gonna close the poll.
Okay.
And it looks like almost everyone had the correct answer. They help compare performance against industry standards and internal business units.
Very good. Yeah, good so far. So talking about P&L 2.0, and the idea here is beyond the static beyond the static ERP income statement. So here we're talking about multidimensional profitability. And what is multidimensional profitability? Imagine a P&L that you can see any combination of dimensions that you have in your model at the same time in the very same view in your reporting. So you can see these P&L by customer, by product, by channel, by process, by department, by cost account, by cost pool. And also this absolutely enables real business decision. Question is, okay, I got the message, but how can we make that possible with a software tool? So here, first thing, we have to have the model. So I'm assuming we have the model ready. Now we have to extract parts of this model. We call these parts of this model as fact tables. So we have a fact table of products, fact table of channels, customers, regions, processes, patients, students, whatever cost object dimension you have calculated in your cost model. Then you have your back office activities. Then you have your business activities. We also have the cost centers, the cost pools, the cost accounts. So we separated the fact tables here. Now the idea is to combine these fact tables together, and trust me, that's not an easy task because you have to combine amounts, driver quantities. There is this in and out cost. We have reciprocal allocation, reciprocal costing. But the idea is once you combine those fact tables into a single cube or a single view, you'll be able to see something like this. I know this screen might be a little small for most of you. I'm using a big screen. But in the columns, you can see the product SKUs. You can also see the channels. You might see also here, basically the customers, services, the whatever dimension you want to understand. And here in the rows, you can see first the line, the description of the category of your P&L. Like gross revenue, discounts, operating income, the direct expenses. Then after the description, you have the process. Under the process, you have the activity. Under the activity, you have the cost center. Under the cost center, you have the cost pool. And under the cost pool, you have the cost account. So in other words, this is a multidimensional EBITDA or multidimensional net margin analysis that provides you transparency. This is the typical and also called everything by everything view, because we are combining everything that's very same view, and also that provides full traceability analysis. This is basically the idea. Let's go to the second question. This second CP credits. NASBA question number 2, please. What does P&L 2.0 refer to in the context of MyABCM advanced cost modeling? The first, a standard profit and loss statement from the ERP. 2, a version of the income statement customized for regulatory reporting. 3, a multidimensional profitability view by product, customer, channel, process, and cost accounts. And number 4, a simplified dashboard showing only top line revenue. Please choose the correct answer.
I think we're in the poll.
Oh, great.
Here we go.
Better now.
Got it right.
Outstanding. Thank you very much, Rafe. Here, basically, we are moving to the very last topic, very last major topic, which is basically what if simulations, what if analysis, planning simulation. So basically, we're talking about moving from static reports to live scenario playing. So basically, here is taking advantage of the model that you created. So basically, you created a model. You have a lot of drivers. You basically separated or identified which one of your cost is variable cost or fixed cost or step fixed cost, semi-variable cost. You're talking here about capacity. You are talking about idle capacity and what you're gonna do with this idle capacity. Should we assign this to the final cost objects or not, or assign just partially? So those are things that belongs to the model. But once the model is defined and the model contains these components here, you can make what if analysis, simple what if analysis, like what happens with my product SKU or my net margin per customer, per channel, per product if we hire two more people for production floor, or if our raw material increases to more than 20%, or if we decide to make more that product instead of that product. So this is a kind of simple what if analysis. But the interesting thing also is to support back calculation and planning, especially the planning based by processes and based by activities that identifies your bottlenecks, identify your broken constraints, identify the resource requirement to achieve, for example, a particular selling volume or a particular production volume. So this is the advanced planning and what if analysis. Let's move to the last question, question number 3, please. In advanced planning simulation, what is the primary benefit of modeling activity-based cost drivers dynamically? The number 1, reducing IT infrastructure cost. Number 2, avoiding the use of dashboards. Number 3, predicting the impact of operational changes before implementation. And number 4, ensuring compliance with international accounting standards. Please pick the best choice.
So we're in momentarily, so please make your selection quickly if you haven't done so already.
Thank you very much, Rafe. Outstanding. So we had predicting the impact of operational changes for implementation. Sure. That's one of the great advantage of using what if analysis simulation, but particularly activity-based cost simulations, activity-based simulations, or activity-based drivers simulations. Okay, right. This is just the introduction of my presentation. Now, turning theory into practice, let's see a live demo. And for this live demo, what we prepared here is basically a model with these dimensions. So imagine we have a model with departments, we have cost accounts, we have the processes, activities, product SKU, countries, plants, channels, customers, regions, whatever dimension you want to present. This particular demo is a food manufacturing company. So this food manufacturing company, they produce chicken SKU. So basically, what we want to see is these outcomes that we just mentioned here in these slides on a live solution, on a live software. Okay, so I'm gonna share now my MyABCM screen with you. I'm sharing MyABCM here now. As you can see, MyABCM is basically a full web application, a full web solution. I'm running here on Chrome, but you can choose whatever browser you want. Whenever you open MyABCM, the very first screen that you can see here is the model summary. In this model summary, you can see on the top right the modules. You can create as many modules as you want. Here we have 6 modules, but I have a client here in Brazil. they have 23 modules like products, channels, services, regions, back office activities, business activities. So every single module contains its particular privilege access rights. So here you can separate these modules, but they are combined together in this single module. So basically, you can see that the total input cost balances with your total output cost. You can see the drivers. This is a full multi-dimensional model. So, for example, we have the product SKUs. So here, a list of my product SKUs. If you want to see product SKUs, let's see activities or processes, or maybe the cost centers, the cost accounts. You can see a list of drivers. You can see a list of services, regions, plants. So this is basically the model that we just created. You can create as many periods as you want, as many scenarios as you want. So here we have like 7 or 8 scenarios. Now, this is basically the model structure. The model here, the model for this particular period, like January actual, you can see these structures. Basically, it's a full hierarchical view. Let's pick, for example, the processes and activities. Every single column in MyABCM, you can perform a descending or ascending sort. So the most expensive process is production. Under production, the most expensive activity is produce products. Now the question is, okay, why produce products is so expensive? You just click here in this contribution button, and MyABCM splits the screen two parts. On the right side, you can see basically the activity, and on the left side, you can see the contributors. Every single contributor, like a cost center, department, cost account, an activity, a cost pool, maybe business activities or maybe support activities supporting this business process. So this is basically the cost of this activity. Here you can pick the driver. You can change the driver whenever you want. And this is very important. A particular driver can be on a period, on another period, I can change the driver, still keeping the ability to compare the amounts on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. So this is basically the reason because produced product cost is this. Now, what is the destination of this produced product cost? Click here on the assignment view. Now, produced products move to the left, and with the arrows, I can see the physical flow of our costs. So pretty didactic, right? So on the left side, I have some costs flowing directly to product SKUs. We have some costs flowing directly to customers, some costs flowing directly to channels. Maybe we have some activities flowing not to the particular customer, but to a group of customers or a group of regions. Bottom line, if you want to know how much costs a product, you click on the product, you have this by channel, you have this by plant or by country, and under the country you have the customer or the final cost. You have information in terms of cost, you have information in terms of revenue, in terms of profit or profitability as well. So this was just a quick introduction of my slide number 1. My cost model is ready. What now? So my cost model is ready. So I just finished the cost model. Didn't want in this presentation to apply a lot of energy on the model side. On the model side, I'm not saying that model is not important. Model is the most important piece of information that you can see in this presentation. But the idea for the presentation is to focus on the outcomes, focus on the results. And as of results, I want to start with something that we consider very important in every single implementation, which is the traceability analysis, which is basically understanding exactly how much a product costs, why the product costs so much, or what is the cost decomposition of this particular cost. So if you click on the product family, you have the product SKU. If you click on a particular product SKU, you have this by channels. If you click on the channel, you have this by country. If you click on the country, you have this by client. So this is total cost. You have a lot of filters here on the left side. Now, for this cost, this 1 million, we have some value-added activities and non-value-added activities. We have some back office activities, we have business activities. You have fundamental activities and you have discretionary activities. You have some fixed costs, some variable costs. You can put and include in this view as many flags as you want. Anyway, for production, we have 383,000. If you click on production, you have these decomposition by activities. If you click, for example, on fixed equipment activity, you have these by cost pools or cost centers. If you click on cost pool or cost center, you have these by cost account. So you can keep going, keep going, keep going till you find your original cost account. So this is, we call this traceability feature, traceability analysis. If it's too much detailed and I want to have a very quick snapshot of my traceability view, you can still use this kind of graphic that basically shows you in a single view all your accounts, your cost centers, your processes, your products, your channels, your services, your clients. So you can create as many panels as you want in this view. Another interesting capability here is basically understanding the reason of the costs. Because, for example, this is my products. So if you click here on the product family, you have these by SKUs. So let's focus, for example, don't know, maybe let's take breaded chicken, air fried chicken nuggets. If you click here, you can see the total cost, the volume, the unit cost. On the right side, you can see the unit cost decomposition by activities. So my 383, the composition, the breakdown by activities. You may ask, okay, but you're saying that the second most expensive activity that we have, or the second most expensive component of my air fried chicken nuggets is basically corrective maintenance. Why is that? Well, because the driver we are using in this model is basically number of maintenance requests. And it was 387 maintenance requests. So pretty logic and pretty fair, because the more corrective maintenance you do, you make, the most expensive will be at the end your organization, your product SKU, or your channels, or your customers, right? So here on the left side, you can pick the product, and after picking the product, you can see the cost decomposition. Moreover, here in the graph, you can see a trend graph showing whether the unit cost of this product goes down or goes up. You can even, if you want to compare one product with another, just select the two products and you can see the both products, the trend of both products here, or three products. Another interesting thing you can see here basically is what are the drivers that are basically affecting the product cost. And finally, you can see here a total cost, the evolution of your total cost of this product from January to June. So basically, this is a very interesting outcome, a very interesting analysis. Most of my clients here, they do this. So they understand the unit cost. Now, the second question is, okay, now I got how much is my unit cost? Why my unit cost is this? So here you can see a complete cost decomposition of the unit cost. This is basically the P&L that I showed you, or I told you before. And this is pretty interesting because in this P&L, I'm seeing here a P&L by products. You can select this product on a particular channel or a particular country. So at this point, I'm focusing on these two plants, Belgium and France. Maybe you can pick just this product family or that product family. Okay, but the interesting thing is that you have some dashboards. The interesting thing is that when you see the P&L here, let me open this a little bit. You have the rows of the P&L. So when you click in the rows, like the indirect costs, you have these by processes and activities. If you click on the process, you have the activity. And if you click on maintenance, activity, corrective maintenance, you have these breakdown by cost centers or by cost pools. If you click on the cost pool, you have these by cost account. This is the everything by everything that I mentioned to you during the first part of the presentation. So here's the ability to see whatever you want, buy whatever you want. If you want, you may also see a view like this, and this is an interesting one. Let me show you. We have four P&Ls working at the same time, being presented at the same time. The very first one is the P&L by SKUs or P&L by products. Then you have the P&L by customers. Then you have the P&L by channels. Then you have the P&L by countries or by plants. Here you can pick a particular SKU or a particular channel or a particular whatever dimension you want to analyze in your cost model, and it gives you 100% through the web, almost instantaneously, the information that you were looking for. So this is basically the P&L by these dimensions. Now, let's say you don't want to see all the P&L rows. You want to focus on gross revenue, maybe the direct costs, maybe the commercial expenses, and finally the EBITDA. So you pick here the rows of your P&L and it's done. So basically, this is by doing that, you can very easily get any information that you want from the cost model, including the ability to create a P&L view like that, an advanced P&L view like that. Once you have your model, you're also able to see like this heat map. In this heat map, I'm combining the channels, the customers, the products, the countries, and this information is live being presented to you. So if you choose here another channel, or if you want to see just the Q1, in Q1 you have this scenario in this heat map view. Well, once you have created your model and you generated the P&L, maybe the P&L contains a lot of information. I just want to give to have a fast snapshot of my profitability. And this is my profitability, 2 million. This is the profitability by products, by channels, by customers, by plants. If you click, for example, I want to see only the plant in Germany. So if you click in Germany, you know the channels, you know the customers, you can pick here this particular product, and this is basically the profitability by this channel, this country, this plant, this region, this whatever dimension you want to analyze. You can even see a view like that. So here you have the profitability by products, countries, clients, regions, trades. This view that I'm presenting to you, we can create a view like that in less than 1 minute or less than 2 minutes, the worst case. So those are very, very flexible views that you can create with the model. But this is only possible because you have a model. So that's why a model plays a very important role here in this game. It's very important to have a good model that really reflects what happens within your organization, because when you have a good model, then you can produce this kind of analysis, this kind of reports. This is one of my favorite reports or analysis. The insight that we can get from this is absolutely fantastic. Here is the benchmark. So first two graphics here show the evolution of your SKUs and your plants costs from January to June. Now you have the cost to produce these products by country. So big question, we have clients that runs their operation with MyABCM in several countries simultaneously. The big question that they are always asking themselves is it worth it to produce that particular product in that country, or should we produce that on a neighbor country and deliver this product to that market, to that region, to that country specifically? And they can find this with this kind of analysis. So this is basically the benchmark to produce each SKU in each particular plant or operation or business unit. Here you can see the activity type by product. So looking at products only, how much you have in terms of back office activities or back office costs or business costs for each product. Same thing with the processes by units. So here you can see a graphic of your plants, and you can make a benchmark of your plants, of your business units, and you can see exactly how much you spend in terms of process and activities in each plant simultaneously. Also, you can see how much you spend in terms of back office and business and core activities for each one of your countries. So as you can see, France spends a lot of money on back office. At the same time, here Germany spends a lot of money here on business and core activities. So benchmark, the power of benchmark and analysis here is something really special and really important. Graphic map like this, geographic analysis. If you look at any BI system can give you a view like this. Basically, you can see here the revenue, the income by plants, the income by regions, the income by countries. What a BI system cannot give you properly, or at least correctly, is information in terms of cost to serve, the cost of each plant, or in terms of profitability. So how much is your profitability per country, profitability per client, profitability by channel or by region? So here, Basic can pick a particular SKU or product family, and you know exactly for France, for example, how much is my profitability, which one is my most profitable customer or least profitable customer in terms of customer and SKU. Here we have, in France, we have problems here with this customer number one, so profitability is very low. At the same time, in France, customer number two is our star customer. So this is our most profitable client. You can also have here an interesting rank analysis here in terms of cost reduction. Sometimes people want to use a model as as a resource to start cost reduction practices or cost reduction analysis in the organization. How can you do this kind of cost reduction analysis looking at the model? Well, this is so simple. You have an activity rank from the most expensive to the least expensive cost, or from the most from the highest difference variance between budget and actual or least variance. Now you can do this. You can pick back office activities or business activities. Not required, required, strategic activities, average, is, hard, no value added, value added. So let's pick, for example, no value added, back office activities. How much is my total cost? And only for a particular period, and only for Q1. Or now let's pick here business processes or business activities, value added and required. So we can play with these dimensions and select the activity that is basically target for you to outsource or to maybe create an internal initiative in the organization to reduce cost. Add capacity by processes, by activities, by servers, IT resources, by whatever dimension you want. So we have the idle capacity analysis here. So we have basically a list of processes, activities, how much is your idle capacity cost, and now is the time to choose what you want to do with your idle capacity. You may either assign the idle capacity to product SKU for pricing proposals, or you can assign these to a box in your cost object module called business sustaining. And from this business sustaining, you can either assign or not assign to products, channels, customers. But here, the word here is flexibility. When you have the model done, you can very easily get that information and use this as a very important tool for model analysis. Now, as I told you, once the model is created, you can very easily and very fast create any kind of model analysis here. So let's make a quick one. Let's pick here the activities, okay, like this view. Let's pick another one. Maybe let's choose the calculated cost by, I don't know, by product. Great. let's pick another one. Now I want to see basically the cost, and I want to see if we are increasing cost or decreasing cost from the time in the time frame, on a particular time frame, and maybe see these by products. Okay, so like that view, you can, if you want, you can choose another possibility or another graphic here, maybe this one, like this one. So here you can see whether this is increasing or decreasing. So you can see many options here, but that's that. You just save this view. You can, sure, you can change the names, change the colors, changing the disposition, put this one up, the other one down. But the important thing is that the moment that I save this view now is available to the entire organization 100% through the web. When I say entire organization, is the entire organization with privileges, with access to that information, because here in MyABCM, we also take security very seriously. So this is basically the outputs that we can get from a cost model. Just want to finish with something very important, which is the ability to make what if analysis and planning and simulation. This is the first option, the first and easy simulation. Basically, we want to maybe hire people, maybe increasing the raw material cost, increase my price, increase my revenue. Maybe we have to do more preventive maintenance instead of corrective maintenance. Maybe we have to do less setup in our machines. Maybe instead of doing one stop for setup every single hour, let's do this once every 4 hours. So we change the model structures, you change things in your model, maybe opening a new plant, closing a plant, what's the impact of the fixed cost that used to be to that one to another one. So once those changes are made, now you're able to see before and after the simulation. So basically, our margin was 5%, 5.2%. Now, after the simulation, our margin went to 20.3%. Here is the margin per product. If you choose a product family, here's the SKU. If you click on the SKU, you have this by channel. If you click on the channel, you have this by plant. If you click on the plant, you have this by customer. So here's the kind of simulation that you can very easily make this back and forth and analyze your net margin by any component of your cost model. The other simulation, even more interesting, is this one, because with this simulation, basically, you can, in the graph, project production or selling volume for your products, and MyABCM can identify whether you are able to do that or not. Maybe you have some bottlenecks in your organization. And here you can see that we have 21 bottlenecks, 21 broken constraints. Here you can see the broken constraint by process, by activity, by department, by unit, by whatever dimension you have in your model. Now, if you really want to produce or to sell that amount in your company, you have to hire 155 new employees, or maybe outsource 155 employees. Where are those employees? So click on the 155, and it gives you the exactly number of employees required to produce that amount or to sell that amount in these particular departments. So production, it requires 105 employees, distribution 18 employees, maintenance 16 employees, and so on. The interesting thing is that if you notice IT and human resources before and after simulation, zero. So we don't need more IT people if you want to produce more products. And why is that? Because before the simulation, we classified the fixed, variable, semi-variable, step fixed cost. You can specify the steps, the range, and finally, the reason for that is basically reporting and also ability to see and to make this scenario play exactly the way we just did here with MyABCM. Okay, going back to here to my PowerPoint for finish the presentation because there's one missing part in my PowerPoint, in my presentation, which is basically imagine this clarity across your entire organization. So once the model is created, once the model is done, now you're able to make any kind of analysis. The limits are basically the limits of your cost model. To finish my presentation, finally, I want to uh, show you something new in the organization, which is our view for the future of cost management and AI. Everything that you're going to see from this time on belongs to our MyABCM Labs division. We have a bunch of individuals in our organization today, 100% focused on these new features that are going to be in the software in the future. We don't know exactly where will be the future. We have some interesting tips, and we want to share these tips with you with just some examples. We have many other examples that we are studying, but we want to show you some live exercises that we are conducting here internally. The very first example is the activity dictionary creation. Imagine you are a consultant, you are my partner, you are a client, and you want very fast to create a model, a cost model. Imagine that you are mapping a particular area, particular department, and you want MyABCM to help you defining the activities for this particular department or organization area. This is very interesting. The second example that we will see is the basically use of the AI to identify or to help you to identify value-added and non-value-added activities. Also, we want AI to help us to automate cost reduction opportunities, basically based on patterns in the data. And from descriptive to predictive and prescriptive profitability management. So those are the examples that we want to show you right now. And again, this is still a study, but at least this gives us a tip of what, in our opinion, is the future of AI linked to cost management. So very first example is the activity dictionary by department. Why do we need MyABCM to tell me the activities that we have for each department? Well, if you are a very small organization, that's fine. But what if you are a large organization? What if you have many departments? So here is MyABCM view. You just click on the prompt, like the regular ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity prompt, and you ask, give me 5 examples of activities in the human resource departments, and also give me 5 subtasks or tasks by these activities, and it gives you. So based on the server that we trained, you can have a list of processes and activities for this human resource department. Value-added aggregation. So, okay, but how do we know, or how AI, MyABCM AI, know whether this activity is value-added or non-value-added activity? Well, we have to classify things. So we train the server with these grades. So activities, number one, basically they have direct contact with the client with a clear perception to add great value to his or her needs. This is the top value-added activity. On the other hand, we have the lowest value-added activities with unknown or questionable objectives. Maybe activities as related to rework, file, secondary opportunities. So basically, once you train your server, you are able to combine these value against the cost. And where can we find the cost? In the model. So once the model is done and you classified value-added and non-value-added activities, you can find top left are the worst activities that we have in the organization. They have high cost and low value-added. On the other hand, on the right side, you have low cost and value added. Those are the best activities that we have in our company. So here's the example. So basically in the prompt, I will give to MyABCM a list of activities, and I want MyABCM to providing me the value. So once the value is provided, Now you're able to generate this graphic in MyABCM Corporate. So basically, exactly the same thing. You have the left side, the activities with high cost and low value. So the red color, the red activities are the ones that are basically subject to outsource or eliminate. On the other side, the best activities are here on the right side, are blue activities. So this is one good example. Finally, how can we use the AI, for example, to cost reduction activities? And here, with all the license from my colleague Gary Hawkins, we got uh, these concepts from his book, Finding the Missing Pieces. Take one activity. So take all the activities. Take the very first one. Now, this very first one, ask a question to this activity. Is the activity really required by the client? And if it's not required, can activity be eliminated? And if yes, eliminate the activity. Otherwise, and at the same time, if the activity is required by the client, the next question is, can the driver frequency be reduced? Yeah, if yes, reduce the activity frequency. Otherwise, the second question is, can we break down this activity into steps? If yes, okay, break down this activity into steps and try to identify non-value added steps. Otherwise, if you cannot break this activity into steps, unfortunately, cost reduction opportunities were not identified to that activity. So you go back and you make this exercise again. So we train the server with this feature, and you can give actions basically to the AI. So activities here located in action number 1, we know that those are the activities subject to be eliminated. Action 2, it's just matter of reduce the frequency. Action 3, eliminate non-value added steps. And number 4, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do only with these activities. So a little more research is necessary for that activity. You may ask, okay, Andrea, but I can't do that for my activities here. Why do I need AI to do that? Well, again, the idea is to free time of the clients and the partners and the market in general to prevent them to make manual work and starting making brain work, intellectual work. I know it's very easy to make this study if you have 20 activities, 30 activities, 50 activities, maybe 100 activities. But for example, we have a client here in Brazil, they have 2 million unique activities, and they calculate these 2 million unique activities on a monthly basis, every single month. So imagine the nightmare of having to do this with these 2 million activities. So that's the point. I mean, in my opinion, AI will not replace the human being, but will help us to concentrate, to focus on more strategic activities. So again, use these smart object cost reduction and tell me in which category, which action should we do with each one of these processes and activities. Well, this is it. Key takeaways and 3 things to remember. The first one is that a cost model is not a report or a static report. It's a decision-making engine. I like to make the comparison between just MyABCM and regular spreadsheets, regular Excel. If you need a picture, probably Excel can help you. Maybe if that picture is not well detailed, maybe if it's a black and white color, that's fine to use Excel. But if you need a movie, if you need to start making a movie, then you need a more sophisticated approach. Benchmarks, P&L 2.0 and simulations unlock hidden insights. Profitability management requires moving from static to dynamic models. So that's basically some of the takeaways we can have from this presentation. So don't let your cost model die in spreadsheet and turn it into a true strategic asset. Let me finish with this phrase from American author Michael Hammer. which is basically the secret of success is not to foresee the future, but to build an organization that is able to prosper in any of the foreseeable futures. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to present this, to make this presentation today for you. We will open now for Q&A. I'm also sharing my data here with you, either my WhatsApp, my email. Please feel free to contact me directly or on LinkedIn. Thank you very much for your time. With you, Rafe.
Thank you, Andre. That was a very interesting, thought-provoking presentation. It's great to see all of the questions that can be answered with cost modeling. And just listening to it made me realize how aligned what your organization is doing with PACE's initiatives and our profit analytics framework. We're talking about developing an operational and cost model that can be used to answer questions like this. And I think we all really learned some things today and some questions that thought about some questions we learned answer with our in our organizations with the cost modeling. There was a question about whether the slide deck would be available. I believe you said you would provide it if they contact you at the information provided here. So thank you for that. I'm going to push out the end of webinar poll, but we do have a question before we do leave. And the question is, if I have, let's see, if I have a new customer for grilled chicken, how can I estimate their potential profitability?
Well, that's a very good question, and this is one of the advantages to make what if simulations and what if analysis. So if you have a new customer for grilled chicken, you can just include this potential customer in your model, not the with the actual value, but with the planning volume or planning value, and make the profitability analysis. So if you have a new client, you can basically choose, okay, I have a new client. This new client will receive costs from my marketing, from my sales team, maybe from my customer service here. So we have the standards and the cost, the unit cost of this client, and also this client buying this product by this particular revenue, we know exactly how much is the profitability. So in other words, I think when we talk about a cost model, you are also playing with these different scenarios. One is the actual scenario, what happens last month or last quarter. So figures that you can find in your accounting department, and those figures you can assign these to processes, activities, and finally to products, customers, channels, whatever dimension you want to calculate. But the other, in my opinion, interesting the most interesting thing is the ability to make what if simulations, what if analysis. You know, something that happens all the time here with our clients and with us here is making some assumptions. Okay, what if we don't have this product anymore? What if we don't have this customer anymore? What is the impact of this in our bottleneck, in our net margin? Because sure, if you have a product and you decide, or a customer, let's take an example on a customer. We figure out that 10% of our clients are money loser clients. We lose money with 10% of our clients. Okay, let's make let's make this. Let's just do not provide our products of these clients anymore. Let's fire these clients, these 10% clients, because if we do that, our profitability will double, will increase a lot. That's not true, because our fixed expense, they're very flexible. They are not, if they're not going to that money loser clients anymore, they will start focusing on the star clients, for example, or the clients that you don't make and you don't lose money. So bottom line, the ability to make what if analysis, planning, simulations is something very important for the organizations that want to make the next step in terms of cost management, profitability analytics.